Appreciate y'all coming today. You know, it was a tough loss Saturday night. We, first off, I got to do a better job coaching. Assistants got to do a better job. The players have to do a better job executing. We're all in this together, and we together is the only way we're going to get it turned around. But we start that game and jump out to a 17 to nothing lead at the start of the second quarter, and then watch it erode. Offensively it was pretty amazing. We had 28 first downs, we had 100 plays, and completely dominated the first quarter. And once we got up to 17 to nothing, that's where all of a sudden we have 3 out of 4 drives we have turnovers. We have 2 fumbles and an interception. And that's where you got to hard focus the most, and that's where you got to learn to dominate an opponent when you get up. And we're just going to keep emphasizing that and keep working it. We had some great individual performances. Tyler Staling had his best game throwing the ball and running the ball. Zach Wright had a career night with best night of his career with 10 receptions for 120 yards. And we got to keep improving. We got to keep building on what we're doing good and eliminate some of the gaps we have, and a lot of it is technique, and a lot of it I think is just focus, and continue to press that and continue to get better. Defensively, I also got to say Trey Martin performed really well in the offensive line. It says our offense, it says we gave up 3 sacks. One of those was on a trick play. One of those was on only one of the sacks was on the offensive line. So I think they continue to get better each week in their protection of Tyler. And like I said, it's one as hard as this loss is. We're got to keep building on what we're doing good. Defensively, completely just same story as the offense. We completely dominated the first quarter. They had negative yardage after the first quarter, and then we give up a long pass on a technique error on the sideline where we actually pick each other, or that's one where you think's about to get intercepted, and all of a sudden it's a long completion, and then we have a missed tackle that leads to a 75-yard play right before halftime, and all of a sudden North Texas is back in it, and they go up, and then when we respond to make it 28-28, I really think that's one we're going to win in overtime. And we score first in overtime. Their first play is a negative yardage play, and they end up scoring, and then in the second overtime, we go down in defeat. And it's a hard one. It's one we just got to continue to work together and work through this. It's one had we executed and had I coached better, we'd have won. But we came up short. And the one thing I know about these players, they're not going to quit. They work extremely hard. They want to win, and we need to get on a roll. Going to Southern Miss, it's a tough place to play at the Rock. They're an extremely fast, physical defense. They're 3-1 right now. Offensively, they're very similar to Baylor in what they do. And Jay Hobson's done a nice job of getting that program and building it and sustaining the success that they've had. Yeah, last year he was amazing. I think he'll have a chance to be the MVP of the conference. I mean, he's of that caliber of quarterback. They're very talented up front. They're very athletic at the running back. They're very, very athletic at receiver, and it's a game like we've been talking about. Everything at Rice we do, we got to be precise, and for us to go to Hattiesburg and come out with a win, we've got to win the turnover battle that we lost this week 3-1. We got to eliminate these foolish penalties. We got to eliminate these technique errors that we're making to stay in the game with them. They're a very dominant football team. Some of them a lot of them are by the younger players, but it is what it is, and we gotta work through it with them, and we gotta grow some of them up fast.
In parallels, you
Yeah, we just like the only way through these tough spots is to work, and working hard works, and we've got to continue to get these young men in positions in practice to where we're not picking each other on the route. That the guy that's supposed to come downhill at the route's coming downhill and not moving lateral and picking our corner. And that's up to us as coaches to continue to drill work to work these mistakes out of them.
With a good rushing game, feel like you figured that out on the ground.
Well, I think the offensive line is getting better every week. I think the offensive staff has done some scheme work to get our running game going, and that was something we had to do, and it's one where I think our running backs are some of our better players, and we needed to get that going to get our offense moving. I'm sorry. Lance Wright, he was, we thought a year ago was really going to be a feature receiver for us when he got hurt. He's still finding his groove. The one in the end zone that we thought he's got to learn up and go back and get that at high point, and that's going to be a touchdown. But he continues to work through it. You can see that he's getting confidence in his knee. Earlier in the year you could tell he was very cautious in his approach to the game. I don't think he's cautious anymore. And now he's working on the finer details to make him a dominant receiver. And he has that ability. Yeah, that's, one we'll continue with Nate to grow. Prior to his injury, that was something we were going to do to him. So it's nice to have the ability to jump in and out of those packages. I think they're hard to prepare for when you have to prepare for what Tyler Staling does well and what Nate does well. We don't have to do anything, so we've been through hard times here. This senior class is going to be remarkable in keeping it all together. The first thing we got to make sure we win is the locker room, and that's what the seniors have to do. And after visiting with some of our senior leaders, I don't see as we have a sky is falling mentality. I think we have a mentality that we got to do whatever we need to do to get this right.
A little more on Tyler, Coach. You said it was his best game. What else went into that?
Well, he threw the ball extremely well, other than he did have the interception before half. He continues to just improve weekly, and you like that. And you saw once again he's a little faster than people realize. That was a scramble that he got us down there on. It's how he rushed for 92 yards, and then there was a couple quarterback draws in there that I thought he ran quite effectively. He's running the option effectively, and that's one where he's just getting a little better every time he practices and every time he steps on the field. And I think he has the ability to, with his arm, when we get it all together, to take a game over. Yeah, I think people don't realize, because he did the same thing. If you think back to Western Kentucky where he scored on the zone read, he's just so long, people don't realize that he is moving at a high rate of speed. But together is the only way we're going to get through this. That old adage that we can't divide and think we're going to win some football games. We got to stay united, and if we can do that, we're extremely close. A lot of that game, even in a loss, was we had some guys that really performed well, and we got to keep building on what we're doing right. Our defense, our linebackers, Emmanuel Erleby and Alex Lyons, had big games for us. Again, our defensive line had 5 sacks. That's the most sacks we've had in a game this year. We had 12 tackles for losses, most of those with the defensive line. So we are doing, we're all playing hard, and the defensive line's really getting disruptive. We got to continue to improve as a team. Yeah, I'm really, we've got to eliminate. I think we had 12 explosive plays we gave up Saturday. 7 of those were technique. One of them was a bad call by the coaches. We got to execute and continue to improve, and continue to grow some of these young guys up.
Injury-wise, you okay?
I think this week we will get JT Blassingame back. We will get Brandon Douglas back. Cody Hennessy, the senior defensive tackle, will be out for at least 6 weeks. Sam Stewart is cleared to play this week. Last week it was a game time decision, and they thought we needed to hold him another week, so he did suit up. But Sam will be cleared to play. And then I'll meet with the medical staff this afternoon on a couple of the other guys and find out where we are. Well, and Sam just has a top end in gear where he can break some of those options and make them bigger runs. You know, I thought Juwan Davis and Derek Dillard both played a very solid game this week, but Sam does have a gear